This is Chapter 7, Monitoring and Controlling Projects, Presentation 2 of 3. In the first presentation, we covered monitoring the project integrity and monitoring scope. In this one, we'll talk about monitoring time and monitoring costs, two of the things that most people look at in the successful projects. Monitoring the time. Monitoring and controlling tasks for project time management is basically staying on schedule, or at least schedule control. Project managers often cite delivering projects on time as one of their biggest challenges because you can't buy back the time. During project initiation, priorities and procedures are most often important, but as the project proceeds, especially during the middle and latter stages of the project, schedule issues will become the predominant source of conflict. Why do schedules cause such conflict? Well, time is the variable with the least amount of flexibility. If you don't build slack time in there, you're going to run into it real quick. Time passes no matter what happens on a project. Individual work style and cultural differences may also cause schedule conflicts. For example, people who prefer the P versus the J in the Myers-Briggs profile may not like keeping schedules and deadlines. There are also different cultural views of time affecting meeting schedules and attitudes toward work. Schedule controls goals and outputs. The goal of the schedule control is to know the status of the project. Notice it's not to keep it on schedule, but to know the status of it, to influence the factors that cause schedule changes, determine whether the schedule has changed, and make changes when they occur, adjusting to that schedule change. A key output of the schedule control is work performance measures, which are provided by indicators in your project management, milestone completion dates. Worker morale and discipline is a big one. Performance review meetings and the tracking Gantt charts. Here's a tracking Gantt chart. Notice we've got check marks when things are completed on time. A slipped milestone refers to a milestone that actually didn't meet its originally planned date. So as a consequence, you're going to see that in the Gantt chart very quickly. The key to keeping the top managers happy is to ensure that they don't see any surprises. Notify them early, so the project manager must be clear and honest in communicating project status. Do not cover things up. By no means should the project manager create the illusion that the project is going fine when in fact serious problems have emerged. And I would reiterate that it doesn't take serious problems. It can also take an accumulation of smaller problems that set it back. No surprises. Monitoring the costs. Monitoring and controlling the costs actually is monitoring cost performance, ensuring that only appropriate project changes are included and a revised baseline is made. Informing the project stakeholders of authorized changes that will affect costs. Outputs include work performance measures, budget forecast, change requests that everyone should see and sign, project management plan updates on a constant basis, product document updates, and updates to organizational process assets. Earned value is a way of measuring progress. In a project, it's a technique that integrates scope, time, and cost data. It's been around a while because it actually gives you a measure of how the project is doing. It's the value gained based on the completed work. From a client perspective, the business value is achieved when the project is completed. But if a project gets canceled 90% of the way through, the business value might be zero. However, the earned value is very different. With earned value, you're earning the value of the project on an incremental scale as the project is executing. When 50% of the work is completed, you might say that it's 50% of its value has been realized as well. Given a baseline, the project managers and their team can determine how well the project is meeting the scope, time, and cost goals by entering actual information and then comparing it to the baseline. The baseline information includes scope data, time data, and cost data. Here are some terms that you'll hear in relationship to earned value. The planned value, the actual cost, the earned value, and the rate of performance. In Figure 7-2, it shows you the formulas needed to actually calculate the earned value. The nice thing about Microsoft Project is it actually does this for you. Generally, when you look at the numbers in Microsoft Project, negative numbers for cost and schedule variance indicate problems with those areas. Negative numbers mean the project is either costing more than it was planned or taking longer than it was planned. Likewise, CPI and SPI, less than 1 or less than 100%, which is really what less than 1 means, indicate some problems as well.